The Zodiac Killer, one of America's most infamous and mysterious serial killers, terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Despite decades of investigation, the killer's true identity remains unknown, fueling endless speculation and theories. In this video, we will explore the top 10 most intriguing theories about who the Zodiac Killer could have been. Number 10. Arthur Lee Allen. Arthur Lee Allen was a handyman and one of the key suspects in the Zodiac case. He had several criminal convictions, including burglary and sexual assault. However, he was never charged with any of the Zodiac killings. Despite this, many believe that Allen was the Zodiac Killer due to similarities between his appearance and the composite sketch of the killer. Additionally, Allen owned a boat named the Sneaky Pete, which was similar to the boat seen in a police sketch of the Zodiac Killer. However, DNA testing in 2021 found that the DNA profile developed from under one of Allen's fingernails did not match the DNA profile of the Zodiac Killer. Although this evidence has largely excluded him as a suspect, some still believe that Allen was indeed the elusive killer. Number 9. Gary Francis Post. Gary Francis Post is another suspect who has gained attention in recent years. In 2021, a group of independent investigators claimed to have identified the Zodiac Killer as Post, a former house painter and Air Force veteran. They presented their findings to the police, but it was ultimately inconclusive. However, the investigators stood by their results and claimed that they had evidence that Postel was the Zodiac Killer, including a coded message left behind by the killer that they believe Postel had written. While the police have not confirmed these claims, some believe that Gary Francis's Post may hold the key to solving the Zodiac case. Number 8. Lawrence Kane. Lawrence Kane was a local resident who lived near where several of the Zodiac attacks took place. He was known for his strange behavior, including wearing dark sunglasses at night and carrying a brown briefcase. While there is no concrete evidence linking Kane to the Zodiac killings, his odd behavior and proximity to the crime scenes made him a person of interest to investigators. Some believe that Kane's unusual behavior was directly related to the crimes, while others see it as merely coincidental. Nevertheless, Kane remains one of the many suspects in the Zodiac case. Number 7. Richard Gaikowski. Richard Gaikowski was a member of the U.S. Navy stationed in San Francisco when the Zodiac killings were taking place. He was known for writing coded messages similar to those left by the Zodiac Killer. After Gaikowski's death in 2004, his wife came forward with new evidence, including a box filled with letters and documents related to the case. While some believe that Richard Gaikowski may have been involved in the crimes, others argue that the evidence is circumstantial at best. Number 6. Ross Sullivan. Ross Sullivan was a local car salesman who had several run-ins with the law. Sullivan was arrested for selling a stolen car and was later sentenced to prison for a weapons charge. Some believe that Sullivan's criminal history and apparent knowledge of the area make him a likely candidate for the Zodiac Killer. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory. Number 5. Earl Van Best Jr. Earl Van Best Jr. was a transient who lived in Northern California during the time of the Zodiac killings. He was known for wearing a black leather jacket and driving a small blue car, matching the description of the killer in some witness accounts. However, there is no solid evidence linking them to the crimes. Number 4. Jack Terrence. Jack Terrence was a local businessman who owned a marina where some of the Zodiac victims went missing. He was also a suspect in several other unsolved murders in the area. While there is no direct evidence connecting Terrence to the Zodiac case, some believe that his connections to other crimes in the area make him a person of interest. Number 3. Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski, better known as the Unabomber, was a mathematician and domestic terrorist who carried out a series of bombings in the United States from 1978 to 1995. While the Unabomber's crimes occurred after the Zodiac Killer's reign of terror, some believe that the two may be connected. Both men lived in remote areas and had an interest in explosives. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory. Number 2. Multiple killers. Many people believe that the crimes were committed by more than one person. This theory is based on the fact that the Zodiac Killer operated for such a long time without being caught. It is possible that the police were pursuing the wrong leads because they assumed that. All of the crimes were committed by a single individual. Number 1, unknown suspect. With over 50 people officially named as possible suspects, none of the above may be who committed the crimes. The real killer may be unknown and may even be deceased. But there is one thing that we know for certain. The killer is male, and he enjoyed tormenting his victims before, during, and even after their demise. We would love to hear your thoughts on the case. Which theory do you find most convincing? You believe that the real Zodiac Killer is still out there? Or do you think that we will eventually find out his true identity? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.